Okay, we're going to look at some of the structural things to identify in the poem the right word. We always begin by looking at the number of stanzas a poem has. And here we are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stanzas. Some stanzas have 3 lines, some have 4, some have 5. So there's no regular structure in the number of lines per stanza. But it's always important to acknowledge the breakup of the stanzas. The next thing to notice structurally is that the poem is written in the first person. Outside the door, lurking in the shadows is a terrorist. Is that the wrong description? Outside taking shelter in the shadows is a freedom fighter. I haven't got this right. This is the first person who's speaking here, and a poem is directly addressing the reader. This gives the poem a kind of personal feeling, I would say, or attempts to. Further, the poem is written in the first tense. Right now, outside the door, there's someone in the shadow. It wasn't yesterday. It's not something that's happening in the future. So it is something that's in the present tense. And this makes the poem feel like an experience, and in some ways, an immediate experience that creates fear and tension. And one of the ways that fear and tension is created is through the repetition of certain phrases. And the ones that I think are worth noting are outside the door and in the shadows. Outside the door, shadows. Outside, shadows. Outside, in the shadows. Outside, every shadow. Outside, and this repetition, this constant feeling like someone's out there, creates a fear and tension for us. And that is through the technique of repetition. Just going to refocus a little bit here. Okay. Now, in addition to this repetition, there's one little change that happens. So if you notice, it goes from outside the door, outside that door, outside your door, outside the door, outside my door. The door, your door, my door. There is this transformation in the poem about what's actually going on. And even though it's a personal, immediate experience, there is some sense that this isn't just happening to the speaker, but this may be going on all over the world. This may be a poem that you yourself are experiencing, looking out your door, being confused about the person who's outside. Who are they really? The poem struggles with some technical language of trying to figure out who this person outside their door is. Are they a terrorist? Are they a freedom fighter? Are they a hostile militant? Are they a guerrilla warrior? Are they a martyr? Are they a child? Are they a boy? These questions, there are 2 questions the poet asks, but it's as if the poet's looking to the reader to figure out what it is that he's having difficulty describing outside. And these words are familiar to us, but he can't quite decide on what to call this person outside. So he's using very emotional, political words, but he also uses simple words like child and boy, which also suggest, even though they're simple, may suggest other meanings unto themselves. These are the basic structural things I'd like to identify, and as we move into the interpretation, you'll see how they feed in to a reading of the poem.